Make the ground shake.
Hey guys, what is going on? My name is Gummy, and today we are back for another statue tutorial. Today we are doing again Pokemon Go. I recently did a Team Mystic statue and you guys really liked it, and we're requesting Team Valor and Team Instinct, so today we are doing Team Valor. So apologies for this video taking a while. Previously I recorded it like whole way through to find out that after about 10 minutes the audio had disappeared, so I had 42 minutes of no audio. So rather than uploading it without audio and putting something forward that I wasn't too happy with, I thought I'd re-record it, and this is the second version. So, as I said in the previous video, Team Mystic, Team Valor and Team Instinct, they're based on the actual characters that you can design yourself in-game, rather than the team leaders, and these are all male versions. So if you want female versions, again, let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see what I can work up. But again, the main differences between the different characters is the colour of their jumper and the pattern. Again, we're going to be adding a rucksack or a Pokebag, and we're going to be adding some really cool features. So, what we're going to start off by doing is listing off the blocks you'll need to build the statue. Again, you're going to need quite a lot, and it's going to take quite a while, so definitely do take your time throughout the video. And again, I'll give you little tips and pointers and good opportunities to pause throughout the video. So, the blocks you'll need are the following. You'll need stone, light grey wool, black wool, grey wool, sand stained clay, red stained clay, block of quartz, snow, white wool, grey stained clay, black stained clay, brown stained clay, orange wool, acacia planks, oak planks, birch planks, smooth sandstone, stone brick stairs, and stone brick slabs. So if you want to grab them blocks into your inventory, that'll be great, and then we can get straight on into building. So the way we're going to go about this is we're going to start off by building the front of the legs, front of body, then front of each arm. We'll then move on to the sides, then the rear, the shoulders, then we're going to add the bag, and then we'll move on to ultimately the head. So as I said, starting off with the legs. The legs are 12 tall and 8 wide, so we're going to be doing 12 layers of 8. We're going to find a nice open space, and we're going to start off by placing 1 stone, 2 light grey, 2 stone, 2 light grey, and 1 stone. So again, that is 1 stone, 2 light grey, 2 stone, 2 light grey, and 1 stone, and that is 8 wide, and that is our first layer. Now one thing to consider is if we mark this the front side, the face of the statue is going to be facing towards that way, so facing the opposite way to the way we're building. So if you want the face facing the way we're facing right now, that's a lot of faces, then you're going to want to build it the other way around. So that's something to consider. So anyways, with that said, the next layer, the second layer, is 8 black wool. The third layer is 1 grey wool, 2 black wool, 2 grey wool, 2 black wool, and 1 grey wool. So that is the third layer. The next 4 layers is 8 grey wool. So that's 1, 2, 3, and finally 4 of grey wool. And my placement, as you can see, is not too great, but hopefully you get the gist. It is 4 blocks tall of grey wool, and currently the build is 7 tall and 8 blocks wide. Now I'm going to consistently back up, as you can see here, to give guys opportunities to pause and catch up if you want. Again, take this time wisely, it's always handy. So moving on now, the 8th layer is 8 cyan stained clay. So again, it should now be an 8 by 8 square. The 9th layer is 8 black wool. The 10th layer is 1 stone, 6 black wool, and 1 stone. The 11th layer is 1 black wool, 1 stone, 4 black wool, 1 stone, and 1 black wool. And the 12th and final layer is the exact same, but instead of stone we're using light grey. So it's 1 black wool, 1 light grey, 4 black wool, 1 light grey, and 1 black wool. And once you've done that, it will look something like this. Now that is in fact 12 tall, 8 wide, and that is the front of the legs complete. Now I know that a few of you are going to be a bit skeptical whether this is 12 tall, and I might get a few comments saying it might be 11 tall, maybe 13 tall, so I'm going to prove it to you. So what I'm going to do is grab a map. If you're on console, it works on a map. If you're on PC, just press F3 and look for your Y coordinate. As you can see here, mine is located in the top center of the map. So what I'm going to show you is if you go down, the number goes down. If you go up, it goes up. This is general Minecraft knowledge. What I'm going to do is come to floor level. Now mine is Y5. yours might be different. So say yours will be Y8 or Y10, Y12, 14, whatever. It could be an odd number. I listed off a lot of even numbers there, but it could be anything. As you can see, mine is 5. Factor in what yours is, ignore mine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 12 to y. So it's going to be y plus 12, and this is going to be our little equation. So in this case, y plus 12 for me is 17. So if I fly up to the top now, I'm looking for y17. When I plonk down to here, you can see it is in fact y17, which means it is in fact 12 blocks tall. Again, factor that in. If yours floor level is say like y8, then you're looking for 20. If it's y10, you're looking for 22. Same logic applies for any number. So you add 12 onto your number, and that's an easy way to guarantee that you have correctly counted. And this comes in useful later on in the tutorial. Right now, it's only counting 12, but later on you get to the point where you're counting 12, 24, and then ultimately 32 blocks. Do you really want to be going back and counting every single time? Not really, unless you're really have a love for counting, then maybe. But I don't. I'm lazy and I cut corners, so that's how we're going to be doing things. So anyways, again, if you want to pause, you are more than welcome to do so. And this is the front of the legs. So now what we're going to do is move on to the front of the body. And this is arguably the most difficult part. The front of the body, front of the arms, and then the back of the body, back of the arms is the most detailed part and therefore the most difficult. So definitely take your time. What we're going to do is we're going to start off on the left side and we're going to place 2 red wool, 1 white wool, and this is where inventory management becomes a bit of a pain. So 1 white wool, and I'm going to get rid of that block right there just so we can have more selection. So you want the 3 whites basically on your hotbar. The next block is 1 quartz, so it goes 2 red wool, 1 white wool, 1 quartz, 3 snow, and 1 quartz. And that is the first layer. Now what we're going to do from here is we're going to get our birch planks and our smooth sandstone on our hotbar. Now on the left side, what we're going to do is go 1 birch plank over to the left, 2 smooth sandstone, and 1 black wool, and that is 4 blocks wide. We're then going to repeat this on the right side, so we go 1 to right with birch plank, 2 smooth sandstone, and 1 black wool. Essentially what that does is marks out where the arms start, and it means later on, again, we don't have to come back and figure it out. It's already marked out, ready for us, and we can begin. But what I'm going to say is we're not going to work on that now. We'll come back to that later on. For now, we're going to continue with the body and get that out the way. So again, as I mentioned earlier, the pattern on this one is different to the Team Mystic one. The Team Mystic one was very much blue at the bottom, white at the top. This one's going to be the stripe pattern, so the horizontal stripe. So it's red at the top left corner and white at the bottom right. So the second layer, with that said, starting on top of this red wool here is 1 red wool, 1 white wool, 1 quartz, that's not quartz, that's snow, 1 quartz, 3 snow, 1 light grey, and 1 snow. The third layer is 1 red stained clay, 1 snow, 1 red wool, 1 quartz, 2 snow, 1 stone, and 1 snow. In fact, I'm going to change snow and quartz just because we use a lot of snow. So, that was the third layer. Again, opportunity here to catch up if you need to. The next layer, the fourth layer, is 3 red stained clay, 1 white wool, 1 quartz, and 3 snow. So again, that was the fourth layer. The fifth layer is 3 red stained clay, 1 red wool, 1 white wool, 1 quartz, and 2 snow. The next layer is 4 red stained clay, 1 red wool, 1 quartz, and 2 snow. Again, it should currently be 6 blocks tall, so we are halfway there. The seventh layer is 2 red wool, 3 red stained clay, and 3 white wool. The eighth layer is 2 red wool, 4 red stained clay, and 2 white wool. The ninth layer is 1 grey wool, 5 red stained clay, 1 red wool, and 1 grey wool. Again, that was the 9th layer. For the 10th layer, we're going to need our cyan stained clay back. So we're going to start off on the left side. We're going to place 1 cyan, 1 red wool, 5 red stained clay, and 1 cyan. And again, that was the 10th layer. For the 11th layer, we're going to do 1 cyan, 5 red wool, 1 red stained clay, and 1 cyan. Again, I'll back up just in case you want to catch up. And for the final layer, we're going to need both cyan and grey. So this is a bit of a dilemma. We're going to start off on the left side. We're going to place 1 grey wool, 1 red wool, 1 cyan. Then, again, inventory management. You're going to need 2 oak planks for his neck, 1 cyan, 1 red wool, and 1 grey wool. And once you've done that, that is the main body complete. Now, we will be adding some 3D effects, but for now, that is all you need to do. And let me get rid of my arm. I thought I just did there, but apparently I didn't. So, as you can see, that is 12 tall and 8 blocks wide. Again, just to prove you conspiracy theorists wrong, that the statue right now is in fact 24 tall, because that's what we're looking for. Again, rewind your minds back to a minute ago when my y coordinates y5. We're looking for 24 blocks off of that, which is y29. As you can see here, y29. So again, factor that in, 24 blocks off of your floor level, and that's where you should be sitting right there. So as you can see, 24 tall and 8 blocks wide. Now we have the arms already marked out. If you don't already have the arms marked out, again, bear in mind, come to the 13th layer of the build, you go 4 to the left, 4 to the right. So again, that's 13th layer of the build, aka first layer of the body. So, what we're going to do is before we start on the arms, we're going to mark out the 3D effects on the body. So, what we do is we come to the top left corner to this grey wool here, and on top of it, because it's a 3D effect, not into it, not replacing it, on top of it, we're going to place 1 grey wool. To right of that 1 red wool, to right of that 1 cyan, and then underneath that 1 red wool. And we do the exact same on the right side, just mirrored. So we come to the top right corner, we place 1 grey, to left of it 1 red, to left of that 1 cyan, and underneath that 1 red, and it gives you like the hooded 3D effect, as you can see right there. And it's as simple as that. That's all the 3D effects done for the body, and we can now work on the arms. So, out of choice, I'm just going to work on the left arm first, because it's something I've always done. The arms are 12 tall and 4 wide. So, again, 12 layers of 4 blocks. As you can see, the first layer consists of from left to right of 1 black wool, 2 smooth sandstone, and 1 birch plank. Now that is in line with the, again, first layer of the body, or the 13th layer of the build. So, continuing now, let me grab some blocks onto my hotbar that we're going to need. So, the basics you'll need is black wool, smooth sandstone, birch planks, oak planks. You'll need your grey wool, you'll need your reds, so 2 reds, and then your 3 whites. So, the first layer, again, is 1 black wool, 2 smooth sandstone, and 1 birch. The second layer is 3 black wool, and 1 smooth sandstone. The third layer is 2 grey wool, and 2 black wool, so again, that is the third layer. And the fourth layer is 4 smooth sandstone. The next layer is 1 oak plank and 3 birch planks. And then on top of that, we're going to place 1 red wool, 2 red stained clay, and 1 red wool. So, now we're on to the stage where it's just the 3 whites. So, keep on your hotbar your white wool, your snow, your quartz, and then just keep your red stained clay and red wool. So, 5 materials. So, the next layer is 1 white wool, 2 quartz, and 1 white wool. Again, that is the 7th layer. The 8th layer is 4 snow. And the 9th layer is 3 snow and 1 quartz. The next layer, which is of course the 10th layer, is 2 snow and 2 white wool. The 11th layer is 1 snow, 1 white wool, 1 quartz, and 1 red stained clay. And finally, the last layer, which is the 12th layer, is 1 quartz, 1 white wool, 1 red stained clay, and 1 red wool. As you can see, that is 12 tall, 4 wide, and that is the left arm. Now, the good news is the right arm is the exact same, just mirrored. So if you want to copy that over, then you are more than welcome to do so. I personally wouldn't recommend it, but again, that's up to you. If you want to do that, feel free. Skip ahead in the video a bit, and you'll save yourself a bit of time. But for you guys that want an explanation, I will go over it nevertheless. So, coming over to the right side now, again, 13th layer of the build, we go 4 blocks to the right. The first layer from left to right is 1 birch, 2 smooth sandstone, 1 black wool. The second layer is 1 smooth sandstone, 3 black wool. The next layer, the third layer, is 2 black wool, 2 grey. The fourth layer is 4 smooth sandstone. And the fifth layer is 3 birch planks, 1 oak. The next layer, which is the sixth layer, is 1 red wool, 2 red stained clay, and 1 red wool. So right now, 6 tall, 4 wide. Then again, like we did before, you can generally just clean the blocks off your hotbar, keeping snow quartz and white wool, and then of course red stained clay and red wool. The next layer, which is the seventh layer, is 1 white wool, 2 quartz, and 1 white wool. The eighth layer is 4 snow. We then have 1 quartz and 3 snow. The next layer is 2 white wool and 2 snow. The 11th layer, second to last layer, is 1 red wool, 1 quartz, 1 white wool, and 1 snow. And then the final layer is 1 white wool, 1 red stained clay, 1 white wool, and 1 quartz. And that wraps it up. That is the right arm complete. Now, one thing you'll notice, and it's a slight difference between the sides, I probably should have mentioned it before, is that the top right corner of the left arm and the top left corner of the right are slightly different. Now, the reasoning behind that is pretty much because the red pattern is like a diagonal shape. So on this side, it's solid. On this side, it's like fading in. However, if you want to make it symmetrical, feel free to just keep it the same. So replace the red wool here with red stained clay and replace that with red wool, and it looks just as good. Either one works, and I'll just keep it as that, just so I don't frustrate any of you guys out there with OCD, because I have OCD as well, so that would frustrate me over a longer period of time. But sticking to the original design and it being more accurate, I would recommend keeping this one as white wool and this one as red wool. But again, it's up to you. Feel free to play around with it however you want and get it to a point you like. So, with that said, that is the front of the statue complete. We're making really nice progress, hopefully in good timing. I don't want to keep you here all day, but again, it is a really, really long statue tutorial, so probably will take quite a lot longer. So anyways, what I'm going to do now before we move on is again give you guys the opportunity to pause. So currently 24 tall, 16 wide, 8 wide if you're not including the arms. Of course, we've got the front of the legs, which is 12 by 8, the front of the body 12 by 8, and the front of each arm 12 by 4. Feel free to pause back then whenever you wanted to. And we're now going to move on to making the statue 3D. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to grab our materials. For this part, you'll need stone, light grey, black wool, your 2 reds, your 2 oranges, so acacia planks and orange wool, and then cyan and grey. So you're going to need 9 blocks in total. We're then going to come to the bottom left corner to this stone here, and we're going to come around to the left side and expand 2 blocks backwards using light grey and then 1 stone. So the side of the leg is 12 tall and 4 wide. However, we already have the 4th row here, which means we're only placing 3 blocks on each row because 3 plus 1 equals 4, and that is some great mathematics from me right there. So, as I said, the first layer, we're going to go up layer by layer, 12 in total, 3 blocks each row. The first layer is 1 stone, 2 light grey. The second layer is 2 black wool, 1 red. The third layer is 2 black wool and 1 red stained clay. The next layer is 2 grey wool and 1 acacia plank. It's really rare, in fact, that we ever use acacia planks because they're like generally a pretty naff block. But in terms of this, it works perfectly because we need a different orange, and orange stained clay is a bit too similar. The next layer is 2 grey wool and 1 orange wool. Now we're going to repeat that twice more, so 2 more layers of 2 grey, 2 orange. So it will currently be 3 blocks tall, and in total it should be 7 tall. For the 8th layer, we're going to place 2 cyan stained clay and 1 acacia plank, and you'll know you've done it correctly because the cyan here should be in line with the cyan on the left side. And then the remaining 4 layers is simply just 3 black wool, and that will bring you up to the top of the build. And as you can see here, it's 12 by 4. This is it from head on, and then from a side angle. Now again, good news is the right side is the exact same, so we can now skip ahead to there and basically copy it over. So, as I said, we're going to start on the bottom left corner with this stone. We're going to go 2 blocks to the right using light grey and 1 stone. Same logic applies, 12 tall, 4 wide, 4th block here, 3 blocks to build on each row, 12 in total. Let's begin. So, the first layer, as I said, is 2 light grey, 1 stone. The second layer is 1 red wool, 2 black wool, and the third layer is 1 red stained clay and 2 black wool. On top of this, we're going to do our orange stripes. We do 1 acacia plank and 2 grey wool. The next 3 rows is 1 orange wool and 2 grey, and we repeat this again, as I said, twice more, so it's 3 in total. And then on top of that, we're going to place 1 acacia and 2 cyan. Currently 8 blocks tall. The remaining 4 layers is simply 3 black wool, and that will bring you up to the top of the side of the leg. Again, from front on, it looks like this, 12 by 4, and from the angle like this. So I'm going to back up just so you can see what it looks like from a further out angle now, just to give you a better point of view. Again, you can kind of see we're going with the trainers, then the really high socks, and then the training shorts, and then of course the fleecy jumper. So with that said, what we're going to do now is start working on the side of the arms. Now that's a bit more complicated than it sounds, and the reason behind this is because the bottom of the hands is really detailed, and we're going to have to work on that before we can start. So the materials you'll need is smooth sandstone, birch planks, and black wool. We're going to come around to the rear of the statue and start on this side here, and behind this black wool right here we're going to place 1 birch plank, 1 black wool, and 1 birch plank. Then in this middle part we're going to place a 3x2, so 2 rows of 3 smooth sandstone, and then for the final row, which will be closest to this black wool pillar here, we're going to place 2 smooth sandstone and 1 birch plank, and that will give you a 4x4 area, as you can see, and it will look like this. So from the front angle, again this is the right side, it will look like this, and then we're going to repeat this on the left side now. So we start on the inside one, so on the left side, left arm, behind this birch plank here, we're going to place 2 smooth sandstone, 1 birch. The next 2 layers is 3 smooth sandstone, and then the final layer behind this black wool is birch, black wool, birch. From below it looks like this, again it is a 4x4, and then from the front view looks like this. So essentially what that does is gives us 2 platforms to build from. This is the left side, of course that being the right side. We're going to start on the left side of the arm. So again, same logic applies, left side of the arm as well as the right side is 12 tall and 4 blocks wide. 4th block already done, meaning we're only placing 3 blocks in each row, 12 in total. So the first row, as is already done, is 1 birch plank, 1 black wool, 1 birch plank. The second layer is 3 black wool. This is where we need to reorganize our inventory a bit. So just grab yourself oak planks, birch planks, grey wool, black wool. You need your smooth sandstone. You'll also need your 2 reds and also quartz, white wool, and snow. So you won't be able to fit quite all in, but more or less. So the next layer is 3 grey wool. On top of the black wool is 3 grey wool. And on top of that is 3 smooth sandstone. For the 5th layer, we're going to place 1 oak plank and 2 birch planks. And then for the next layer, we're going to place 1 red wool and 2 red stained clay. On top of that, we're going to place 1 white wool. And then 2 red wool. And then for this next part, what we're going to do is on top of this white wool here, we're going to go up 4 using snow. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if you paid attention, you'd notice that on the right side, there's already 4 from the front side. So that leaves us with a 4x2 gap in the middle. We're going to place a 4x2, so 4 layers of 2 red stained clay in between that to fill the gap. And then for the final layer on top, we're going to place 1 quartz. So we start from the left side, 1 quartz, and then 2 red wool to cap it off. And that is the left side of the arm. Again, 12x4. And then from the side angle, looks like this. So, other side now, again, exact same. So come around to the right side. Bottom layer is black wool, birch, black wool, birch. Second layer is 3 black wool. And then the third layer is 3 grey wool. On top of that, we're going to place 3 smooth sandstone. And then we're going to place 2 birch planks, 1 oak. For the next layer, we're going to place 2 red stained clay, 1 red wool. And on top of that, we're going to place 2 red wool and 1 white wool. Again, on the left side, you can see we go up 4 using snow. So on the right side, we're going to repeat this. So, if I can get the snow onto my hotbar, that would be. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 up using snow. And in the middle 4x2 area, we're going to place red stained clay. And then for the final layer, of course, we're going to place 2 red wool and 1 quartz to cap it off. From the head-on view, it looks like this. And then from the side angle, like this. So you can really see it's really starting to take shape now and starting to look kind of fancy. However, if you come around to the rear side, you'll notice slightly different. It's actually really messy, unfinished, and generally just quite empty. That's what we're going to work on finishing now, and it's really easy compared to the other side. So if that's a positive, then great. So the blocks you'll need are the following, just mainly greys and blacks. You'll need black wool, grey wool, cyan, stone, and light grey wool. The back of the legs are 12 tall and 8 wide. However, row on the left, row on the right, already done equals 2 already, which means we're only placing 6 in between to join them together to give us our 12 by 8. Now, for the majority of this, it's just a case of matching the sides up. So we start off on the bottom corner. We're going to place 2 light grey, 2 stone, and 2 light grey. And on top of that, we're going to place 2 black wool, 2 grey wool, 2 black wool. On top of that, we're going to place a row of 6 black wool, so that is the third layer. And on top of that, we place 4 layers of 6 grey wool. On top of that layer, that is the 7th layer, we're going to place a row of cyan stained clay. And on top of that, we're going to place 4 layers of black wool. That will give you a 12 by 8 in total, and will look something like this. Moving on to the back of the body now, and this is probably going to be the simplest part. We're going to require red wool, red stained clay, and then our cyan and grey wool. Now it's very, very plain, and the reason behind this is because there's going to be a bag on top which is going to cover it up. So that takes away a lot of the detail, but also makes it super easy for us. So what we're going to start off is on the first layer, we're going to place 3 red wool, 2 red stained clay, and 3 red wool. Now, in this case, we're going to do the perimeter of it, and then we'll join it up and fill it all in. So, starting on the left side, what we're going to do is on top of this red wool, we're going to build up 2 red stained clay, and we do the exact same on the right side. So, whatever we do on the left, we do on the right. So, up 2 red stained clay. On top of this, we're going to go up 3 using red wool. So, 1, 2, 3, and same with this side, 1, 2, and 3. On top of that, again, we're going to go up 3 using red stained clay. So, 1, 2, and 3, and again, 1, 2, and 3. On top of this, we're going to go up 1 red wool either side, and then finally 2 grey wool, and that will bring you up to the same height as the front of the statue. As you can see here, you can go ahead and join across using 2 grey wool, and if it's the same height, perfect, that means you've done it right. If it isn't, go back in the video, and you must have made a small mistake somewhere, so go back, see where things may have gone wrong, and again, make sure the statue is in fact 24 tall on each side. So, finishing off the top part, on the left side, to the right of it, we're going to place 2 cyan, and on the right side, we're going to place 2 to the left of, again, cyan. On the top layer, we're going to place 1 red stained clay on either side, and then between that, we're going to place 2 red wool. Now, that's the outline. That is a 12 by 8 outline. This whole gap in the middle is simply red wool. So we go ahead and just fill it all in solid using red wool, and that will fill it all in, give you a nice flat surface, and also complete the back of the body. So again, just bring it all the way to the top, fill it in solid with red wool, and with the outline complete to the way it was, it will look, if I can finish placing, something like this. Very, very plain, but again, that's what we're intending to, because it's going to be covered up by a bag. So, before we do move on to ultimately the shoulders and then the bag, we're going to have to work on the back of each arm. Now, the same logic applies for the back of the arm as it does for the other sides. So, in this case, if it's 4 blocks wide, the third block, the fourth block is already done, the third block, the fourth one is already done, and we're only placing 3 on each row as a subsequence because of that. So we're going to start on this side, so the back of the right arm. In this case, from the back perspective, it's our left. The first layer is already done, and it's 2 smooth sandstone and 1 birch plank. The second layer is 2 black wool and 1 birch plank. And then the third layer is 1 grey wool and 2 black wool. On top of this, we're going to place 3 smooth sandstone. And then on top of that, we're going to place 3 birch planks. So far, easy peasy. The next layer is 2 red stained clay and 1 red wool. And then we're on to our diagonal white pattern here. So we place 2 quartz and 1 white wool. The next layer is 3 snow. And same with the next one, 3 snow again. So 2 layers of 3 snow. The next layer is 1 snow, 1 quartz, and 1 white wool. Again, keep on backing up just so you can pause if you want. The 11th layer, so second to last layer, is 1 quartz, 1 white wool, and 1 red wool. And then the 12th and final layer is 1 white wool, 1 red stained clay, and 1 red wall, and it will look like this. So again, if you want to pause, please feel free to do so. Don't hesitate. Again, it just makes your life a lot more difficult if you do. And for the shoulders, what we're going to do is if you come around to the front view, in between the two red wall here, simply just go ahead and either place red wall or red stained clay. I'm just going to place red stained clay. So simply fill in the whole gap in between this grey here and the red wall here using red stained clay. It's as simple as that. You could use red wall. I do recommend red stained clay, however. Now coming back to the other side now, so the other side of the arm, we're going to do the exact same. So starting on the first layer, from left to right, we got 1 birch plank, 2 smooth sandstone. The second layer is 1 smooth sandstone and 2 black wool. On top of that, we're going to place 2 black wool and 1 grey wool. On top of that, we're going to place 3 smooth sandstone, then 3 birch planks, then 1 red wool and 2 red stained clay. And that was the 6th layer. The 7th layer is 1 white wool, 2 quartz. The next 2 layers is 3 snow. The 10th layer is 1 white wool, 1 quartz and 1 snow. The 11th layer is 1 red wool, 1 white wool and 1 quartz. And that was snow I just placed there. So make sure you place quartz. It is really easy to get confused between them because they are so similar. And then the final layer is 2 red stained clay and 1 white wool. Now what you can do, again, is if you want to keep it similar to the other side, is replace this red stained clay right here with red wool. And then same logic applies. Just go ahead and fill this 3x2 area in with red stained clay. And it will look something like this from an upwards view. As you can see, it's slightly different on each side with the if you have the white wool here. But again, that's something you can deal with. So, for this middle part here, just feel free to replace it all with red wool, whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's going to be covered up anyway. So, anything inside the boundary here of the grey wool is all going to be covered up by the head anyway. So, it doesn't really matter. But, as you can see, I've just filled it in with red wool for completion purposes. So, as I said, what we're going to do now is, of course, build the rucksack. However, before we do that, I'm going to do a little spin around, giving you guys an in-depth pause for each side of the build so far. And then we'll build the rucksack straight after that. So, how this is going to work is I'm going to come to a specific part of the statue. For example, this is the front of the legs. I'm going to state the obvious. This is the front of the legs. I'm going to state how tall it is and how wide. It's 12 tall and 8 wide. I'm then going to give you guys an opportunity to pause. I'm not going to say it every time because it will drive me mad, it will drive you mad, and the whole world will just go mad. But I will give you guys a few seconds to pause. So just hit the pause button on your browser, on your screen, whatever way you do it, just pause the video and work from there. And it's really, really easy. Trust me, I've done it a million times based off of watching other tutorials and found it really useful. So this is the way I do things. So this is the front of the legs. It is 12 tall and 8 wide. This is the front of the body. Again, 12 tall, 8 wide. And the front of each arm, 12 tall, 4 wide. Coming around to the left side now, we have the left side of the leg, which is 12 tall, 4 wide. And the left side of the arm, 12 tall, 4 wide. One thing to consider is the underneath of the arm, the base plate of the hand, which is a 4x4. And then moving on to the right side, same logic applies. 12x4 for the right side of the leg, 12x4 for the right side of the arm, and then the underneath of the hand, which is, of course, 4x4. Coming around to the rear side now, we have the rear side of the legs, which is 12 tall, 8 wide. With the rear side of the body, again 12 tall, 8 wide, and the rear side of each arm, 12 tall, 4 wide. Coming around to the shoulders now, with the shoulders, which are 16 wide and 4 thick, and of course the little 3D effect, which is on the front side, which consists of 8 blocks. With that said, that is our little spin around tour complete. Again, at this point, don't move on unless you have something that looks exactly the same as this, and is the exact same as this, because if you move on, you're just prolonging the problem and not really resolving it. So we don't want to do that. Go back in the video, and if you still have any issues, let me know down in the comments below, and I'll try and help you on a more personalized basis. What we're now going to do, though, as much hyped throughout the video, is work on the backpack, the poker bag, whatever. I forgot the technical trainer bag, I believe it's called. I forgot the 100% official name, but probably should have thought about that before and made sure to write that down so I didn't forget. But whatever, we'll continue building nevertheless. So we're going to come to the rear side, so not the front side with the 3D effects, the rear side, so the area which is really super plain and boring. what we're going to do is come to the bottom left corner of the body, so essentially to the bottom left corner where the red wall starts, and we're going to go up 1 block. From here, we're going to place a row of 8 cyan stained clay. So again, bear in mind it's 3D, we're not replacing, changing, or building into, we're building on top. So place a row of 1 cyan stained clay and then go 7 blocks to the right. So it's a row of 8 in total. Then what we're going to do is do another row of 8, so bringing it out a further layer, so it's now an 8x2 overhang, as you can see right here. From here, what we're going to do is work up on the left side and the right side. On the left side, we're going to start off by placing 2 cyan stained clay on top of it, so each layer is 2 thick. On top of that, we're going to place 3 layers of 2 grey wool, and then on the left we place 1 grey wool and 1 cyan. Currently, it is 6 blocks tall. The 7th layer is 2 grey wool, and then the 8th and final layer for now is 2 cyan stained clay. Now we're going to go ahead and repeat this on the right side now, so the second layer is 2 cyan stained clay. We then have 3 layers of 2 grey wool. Then the next layer is 1 cyan on the left, 1 grey on the right, then 2 grey, and then 2 cyan. And again, it will come up to the same height, ideally, if it has been done correctly. As you can see here, it is 8 tall on either side. Okie dokie, so one thing we're going to add before we move on is on the left side, in front of the smooth sandstone, we're going to place 1 stone and on top of it 1 grey wool. And that's just a little side compartment. We're going to do the exact same on the right side. So in front of the smooth sandstone, we place 1 stone and on top of it 1 grey wool. And it gives you, again, a side compartment on both sides, similar to what they would have on the bags. So now what we're going to do is start linking it all together. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to start off at the bottom, and the first 2 layers, the first layer we've already got is cyan. The second layer we're going to place 6 cyan stained clay to link it all together. Next, what we're going to do for the third layer is again another layer of cyan stained clay, so 6 cyan stained clay, so that's currently 3 layers. The fourth layer, which is the first layer that's actually going to be visible, is 1 grey wool, and for here we're going to need our reds, 4 red stained clay, and 1 grey wool. So again, that is the fourth layer, but that will be the first layer that's actually visible. So the next layer is 6 cyan stained clay. The layer after that is 2 cyan stained clay, 2 grey wool, and 2 cyan stained clay. The next layer, which starts off with the grey wool, is 1 cyan, 1 grey, 1 red wool, 1 red stained clay, 1 grey wool, and 1 cyan stained clay. The next layer is 2 cyan stained clay, 1 red stained clay, 1 red wool, and 2 cyan stained clay. And now what we're going to do is start curving it up at the top. So on the left side and the right side now, what we're going to do is get a stone brick slab. On the left side we place 2, same on the right. So we place 2, 1 on each block. On the left side, what we're going to do is bring it in towards the right. So to right of this slab we place 2 grey wool, and we do the same on the right side. To left of it we place 2 grey wool. Then what we're going to do is in between this we're going to place a row of 4 cyan stained clay. You don't really have to place it on the inside row. You can though, however, if you want to. And on top of this we're going to place another layer of cyan stained clay. This one is a 4x2. This one you do have to build a second inner layer because this is going to be the top layer, and it will give you a shape that looks like this. So now what you're going to do is you're going to get your stone brick stairs. You're going to come to the left side, and for this center pillar of 4 cyan stained clay, you're going to come to the second block in and place a stair facing towards the left. You then come to the right side, and then again on the second block in, place one facing towards the right, and that's the little coat hanger that you get on rucksacks. So for the final part of the bag, which is the front pouch, we're going to come back down to the bottom side, so the first layer. We're going to leave a 1 block gap, and then we're going to place 6 cyan stained clay, and then there'll be a 1 block gap on the right side. The second layer on top of this is 2 cyan, 2 stone, and 2 cyan, and then the third layer is 6 cyan stained clay, and that will give you a 6x3 area, as you can see right here, and that is the front pouch. The way we're going to cap it off and ultimately finish off the backpack is on the top layer we're going to leave 1 block, place 4 stone brick slabs and leave 1 block, and on the rear side we're going to do the exact same. So we leave 1 block, place 4 and leave 1 block, but what we're going to do is go backwards 1, so towards the statue, and place another row of 4 and then leave 1 row. So we're not going to bring it all the way back like this. We'll leave 1 row, but we're going to make this one a 4x2 rather than a 4x1. And once you've done that, it will look like this. That is the back of the backpack, the back of the trainer bag complete. And again, I'll give you like a few like side angle shots if you want to pause. Again, one thing to consider is that the sides are 8 tall with slabs on top, and then the backpack is 8 wide, of course, with the 3D effects on each side, making it 10 wide. So again, feel free to pause whenever you want. It's a bit harder to like give off specific details about this. It's more reliant on visuals. But again, please feel free to pause the video whenever you may need. Okie dokie, so that is the bag, that's the statue. Now we just need the head. We are lacking in the head. So, the way we're going to do this is come back around to the front side. This is where we're going to start, at the front side, and we're going to start making a basic template for the head. So, what we're going to do is grab the basic blocks we'll need. So, let's grab our smooth sandstone, birch planks, cyan stained clay, and then you'll need your brown stained clay, grey stained clay, black stained clay, your black wool, and your grey wool. Now you will need a few other blocks such as quartz, so let me grab that, but the main majority of the blocks you'll need are right here. So what we're going to do is, making sure you're at the front side, we'll come to the top left corner to this quartz right here. We're going to count 5 blocks to the right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the 5th block, which is this grey wool here, we're going to place a smooth sandstone and bring it 2 forwards using cyan stained clay. We're then going to repeat this on the right side now. So we go over to the right side, we count 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the 5th block, we're going to place a smooth sandstone and bring it 2 forwards using cyan stained clay. Now in between this, there's a 6 block gap. We're going to join these together on the inside layer, just placing 6 smooth sandstone, and on the outer layer, we'll place 1 birch plank, 4 smooth sandstone, and then of course 1 birch plank, and that will give you an 8x2 overhang, as you can partially see here. I say partially because you can't 100% actually see, because it's obstructed by the 3D blocks right here, but that is an 8x2 overhang. What we're then going to do is come around to the left side, and we're going to expand 2 to left using smooth sandstone, then 2 brown stained clay, and 1 black stained clay. And again, it gives you a 2 block overhang on the rear side, and that is now 8 thick. We do the exact same on the other side. So we bring it back. 1, 2. If I can get my smooth sandstone. 1, 2 using smooth sandstone. 2 brown stained clay. 1 black stained clay. As you can see here, it overextends the rear of the statue by 2 blocks. For the inside layer, again, it doesn't really matter what you do because it's going to be covered up by the majority of the backpack. So just place a row of 6 brown stained clay. And then for the outer layer is a bit more important. Place 2 grey, 2 brown, and 2 grey, and it will look like this. And this is an aerial view of what it should currently look like. This is the front, rear side, left side, right side, but most importantly, that is an 8x8 square, and that is the template we're going to be using for the head. So we're going to build up front side first, aka the face. So come to the front side, and the first layer is already done. It consists of 1 cyan stained clay, 1 birch plank, 4 smooth sandstone, 1 birch, and 1 cyan stained clay. Now bear in mind, each side of the head is 8x8, so it's an 8x8x8 cube. However, we will be adding a ton of 3D effects in a second. We're currently just building the basic head shape. So, starting on the left side, the second layer is 1 birch plank, 6 smooth sandstone, and 1 birch plank. The next layer is 1 smooth sandstone, 1 quartz, 1 black stained clay, 2 smooth sandstone, 1 black stained clay, 1 quartz, and 1 smooth sandstone. The fourth layer is 1 grey stained clay, 1 quartz, 1 brown stained clay, 2 smooth sandstone, 1 brown, 1 quartz, and 1 smooth sandstone. And that was the fourth layer. Now, one thing to point out is the character doesn't actually have a mouth, and the reason behind that is because we didn't want to put it here because then it's connected to his eyes and that looks goofy as, and we didn't really want to put it here either because then it's like at the bottom it's like his jaw is hanging off. You could theoretically put it there if you want. I'll show you what it looks like afterwards if you do, but again, feel free to play around. So the fifth layer is 1 brown stained clay, 6 smooth sandstone, and 1 brown stained clay. The sixth layer is 1 grey stained clay, 2 smooth sandstone, 1 brown stained clay, 2 smooth sandstone, 1 brown, and 1 grey stained clay, and that is 6 tall. The seventh layer is 3 brown stained clay, 2 grey, 1 brown, 1 grey, and 1 black stained clay. And then the final layer is simply 8 black wool. And that will be the 8th layer, again, 8 black wool, and it will look like this. That is all you need to do for now. That is the front of the face complete. Now again, if you want to add a mouth, feel free to either use grey stained clay or use light grey stained clay. Either one works. I'm going to, in this circumstance, use grey. Now just punch out the 2 middle blocks on the first layer and it will look like this. It looks decent. Again, you can use it if you want. I'll show you just for the purposes of the video what it looks like if you use a light grey. Again, it's not 100% needed, but you can if you want. It's up to you. Okie dokie. So again, that's the front side, 8x8, and feel free to pause. Next side is the left side. Again, that's 8x8. We're going to go layer by layer, left to right. So the first layer consists of 1 black stained clay, 2 brown, 3 smooth sandstone, and then a cyan. The layer after that is 1, if I can get my grey back, 1 grey stained clay, 2 brown, 1 grey, and 3 smooth sandstone. The next layer is 5 brown stained clay, 2 smooth sandstone. So that is the third layer. The fourth layer is 4 black wool, 1 grey stained clay, 1 birch plank, and 1 black stained clay. The next layer, which is the fifth layer, is 1 grey wool, 5 black wool, and 1 brown stained clay. The sixth layer is 1 grey stained clay, 2 brown, 4 black wool. The seventh layer is 1 grey stained clay, 3 brown, and 3 black wool. And then the eighth and final level is 3 brown stained clay, 1 black stained clay, and 3 black wool. And as you can see, the black wool represents the strap of the hat that goes around the side of the head. And again, that is the left side. Now the right side is slightly different, so don't skip ahead. It is in fact slightly different. Coming around to the right side now, again, starting on the first layer, there's going to be a few things we're going to change. So we come to the second block and we replace it with birch planks. And then we punch out the remaining 3 blocks and replace with brown stained clay. So the first layer consists of 1 cyan, 1 birch, 5 brown, and 1 black. The second layer is 3 smooth sandstone, 1 grey stained clay, 1 black stained clay, and 2 grey stained clay. The next layer is 2 smooth sandstone, 1 black stained clay, and 4 brown stained clay. The next layer is 1 black stained clay, 2 grey, and 4 black wool. The next layer, which is the fifth layer, is 2 grey, 4 black wool, and 1 grey wool. The next layer, which is the sixth layer, is 1 brown stained clay, 3 black wool, 1 brown stained clay, and 2 grey. The seventh layer is 3 black wool, 2 grey stained clay, and 2 brown stained clay. And then the final layer is 3 black wool, 2 brown stained clay, 1 grey stained clay, and 1 brown stained clay. And again, that is 8x8, and that is the right side. You can see here that the black wool represents the strap that goes around the side of the hat again. And now we're going to move on to the rear side of the head. I'll give you a little side view before we move on. We're going to come around to the rear side, as you can see right here. So the rear side, again, is 8x8. However, row on the left, row on the right already done. That's 2 done. So we're only placing 6, and the first row is already done. So 7 rows of 6. So anyways, just go over the first row. It is 1 black stained clay, 2 grey, 2 brown, 2 grey, 1 black. The second layer is 6 brown stained clay. The third layer is 1 brown, 1 grey, 2 black, 1 grey, 1 brown. The next layer is 2 black wool, 2 grey wool, 2 black wool. The next layer is 6 black wool. The layer after that is 5 brown stained clay and 1 grey stained clay. Second to last layer is 2 grey, 2 black, 1 grey, and 1 brown. Again, I keep on backing up. I know I'm going relatively fast, but I'm trying to wrap up the tutorial before my voice dies because it's absolutely killing me. As you can probably imagine, because I've been talking and rambling for 50 minutes. The final layer is 2 grey stained clay, 1 brown stained clay, 1 grey, and 2 brown. And again, that is an 8x8. And for some reason, I have a really uncanny, like, every time I see this, I think of, like, it's wearing sunglasses, but it is, in fact, the rear strap of the hat. So, the final side we're going to be working on before we do ultimately move on to doing the 3D details is the top. So we're going to start at the back and work our way forwards. The first layer is already done and the sides are already done. So I'm only going to state the 6 blocks in the middle for each row which need to be placed. So the second layer is 6 brown stained clay, and so is the third. So 2 layers of brown stained clay. The next layer is 1 grey, 1 black, 1 grey, 2 black, and 1 grey. The next layer is 6 black wool. The layer after that is 6 grey wool. And then the final layer is 6 black wool. And that is again an 8x8, and that is the top of the head so far. Now, what we're going to do is move on to adding the 3D effects. So I'm going to get rid of my arm. We're going to do a little spin around for each side before we move on. So this is the front side. Again, bear in mind each side is 8x8. So this is front side. Then we have the left side. Then we have the right side, the rear side, and then ultimately the top side. So we're going to start on the front side first, adding the 3D effects. So let me get my arm back and we'll start from here. So what we're going to start off by doing is adding his 3D hair effects. So for this, you're going to need your brown stained clay and your grey stained clay. You're going to start off on the left side here, and you're going to go up 1, 2, 3, and 4 to this brown stained clay diagonal from the eye. Here we're going to place 1 3D brown stained clay. We're going to go up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1. So like this. On top of this, we're going to go up 1 using grey, and then 3 to the left using brown stained clay. And it will, in fact, overextend to the left of the head by 1 block. Going back to this brown stained clay right here below the grey stained clay, we're going to go down diagonal and place a grey. Go up diagonal, place a grey, and then go up diagonal again and place a brown. And that is the 3D hair effects. What we're then going to do is we're going to grab ourselves a red wool, and in the bottom left corner on each side, bottom left and bottom right, we're going to place a red wool right there, covering up the cyan stained clay. The final addition for the front side is the black wool at the top. We're going to bring it 2 forward. So we do an 8x2 extension again. So this hat will be 4 blocks overextend in the front of the statue. And that will give you like the 3D cap effect. Technically, the hats in the game on the character are like ones that would be attached to the head rather than like a snapback. But again, if you don't want to make it looking like a snapback, feel free to just remove the 2 block extension we just added. So that is what the front of the face looks like with all the 3D effects. We're now going to move around to the left side. So for the left side, what we're going to start off is at the bottom left corner. Next is black stained clay right here. We're going to place 1 red wool. We're then going to place 6 red stained clay to the right of it. And then 1 red wool. So a whole strip of 3D red down the bottom layer of the head. And then the 2 blocks we're going to add for 3D hair effect. We come to the top left corner to this brown stained clay. And we come to the 3rd block from right. We're going to go down 1 and place a brown stained clay. And then down diagonal to the left and place a grey stained clay. And it looks like this. Now, of course, you can play around a bit on the side of the head. Again, if you're not 100% happy with how it looks, you can play around, like replace these 2 blocks and then 1 to the side or something like that. It doesn't really matter. Feel free, again, to change it how you want. It's up to you. So, I'm going to keep it like that, though. I do kind of like that. So, coming around to the right side now. As you can see, it looks like this currently. On this side, we're going to do the exact same. So, bottom left corner, we place 1 red wool. 6 red stained clay to the right of it, and then 1 red wool. Now on this side, we're not going to add any 3D effects. So that's kind of unusual, but it is going to be slightly different. So no 3D effects on this side. But then we come around to the rear side now, and we are going to. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our grey stained clay and our brown stained clay. We come to the top right corner, and we're going to go down diagonal and place a brown stained clay. Down diagonal to the left again, and place another one, and then left to 1, and place 1 grey stained clay. So 3 blocks in total on the rear side. And what we're also going to do whilst we're here is just underneath the neck, we're going to place 2 blocks. So right here, in front of this grey wall here, we're going to place 1 red stained clay, and then in front of that 1 red wall. And same on the right side. In front of the grey wall, we place 1 red stained clay, and then 1 red wall. Okie dokie. So that leaves us with one final side, which is the top of the hat, the top of the head, should I say. And this is probably the most detailed part, but it's, again, ultimately not too difficult. So we're going to start off at the front side. If you have built the 2-block extension, then skip 1, 2, and then on the 3rd block, place 1 black wall. If you haven't built the 2-block extension, this will be the first block, should I say, not the 3rd. If you have, it will be the 3rd. From here, we're going to go 2 blocks to the right using grey wool, 1 black wool, then 1 red stained clay, red wool, red stained clay, and then black wool. So that's the first layer, again, 8 wide. And it will look like this. Again, without the 2-block extension, it will look like this, and will represent the hat a bit more. But again, feel free to put the extension on. I think it looks better. It makes it look a bit more like a snapback, even if we don't really want it looking like a snapback. Behind this, we're going to place 2 layers of 8 black wool. And then for the final few 3D effects, we're going to get our brown stained clay and our light grey. We start off in the top left corner. We're going to go down twice to this brown stained clay here and to the right one. We place a brown stained clay. We go up diagonal, down diagonal, and to the right one. Then going to go up 1. So this is with 3 brown stained clay, 2 grey. Then we're going to go to right twice, and on this last block we're going to place 1 brown stained clay, and that is it. That is all you need to do. That's the 3D effects, that's the statue complete, everything complete, and you can relax. Now I'm going to keep things nice and short and sweet because my voice is killing me, because I haven't drunk anything today and then got on recorded and spoke for 50 minutes, so my voice is a bit dead. But I do hope you enjoyed. Please do consider leaving a like. If I can actually get rid of my arm, that'd be great. And consider subscribing if you haven't already. Again, I really do appreciate all the support. Views have been dropping tremendously on the channel recently, but there are still an active amount of you guys that are just sticking around, helping me out, and showing support. So that's always nice. If you did enjoy it, again, leave a nice comment down below. If you didn't, let me know why. Leave some constructive criticism, always great. And again, the dislike button is always there if you didn't like it. So again, credit to RustledDaJimmies or Nebula for the design. I'll leave a link to his social media down below in the description, show him some love. Can't even pronounce show properly because of my voice. Apart from that, thank you very much for watching. Team Instinct coming very, very soon. Daily uploads also this week. My famous last words probably won't happen, but I'll try. And yeah, apart from that, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, my name has been Tom Gummy, and goodbye. Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through?